Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ness. If you're new here, hi, my name is Vanessa and I like to talk about books. We've all seen them videos about my 5-star predictions. I thought I wanted to do something a little bit different and I wanted to talk about the books that I was nervous about reading because I feel like they could go very bad. They're not necessarily my 1-star predictions, it's nothing like that. They're just books that I'm a little bit nervous about getting around to reading. They're books that, if they do end up being 5 stars, I haven't predicted that at all. I've the opposite of predicted that, if that makes sense. Oh, there we go. They're the books that I think are least likely to be 5-star predictions. That is a better title. Before I get into this video, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I post new content quite regularly and I'm really enjoying seeing the growth of this channel. It really keeps me motivated during this quarantine because it's the only thing that brings me joy right now. And if you know anyone else who might enjoy some book content on YouTube, please send me their way because I love to spread the joy of reading. It's like the joy of cleaning, but without the effort. Okay, so I've only got a couple of books to share with you today about the ones I'm nervous about reading because generally I like to buy books that I think I'm going to enjoy so that they're not a waste of money. And like I've said, it's not that I don't think I'm going to enjoy them, I just think the potential is there. So the first book is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I got this really cheap on Waterstones because it is damaged, but you know, barely damaged. So I thought that I'd pick this up and give it a go. I picked this up because Six of Crows is usually said that it's the best of the Grisha universe, and I have read Shadow and Bone. I did read Shadow and Bone and didn't like it at all. However, this book seems to have like more detail and more to it, and the reason I didn't like Shadow and Bone is because it just felt like a bowl of custard when I wanted an entire cheesecake, if that makes sense. I felt like there was some plot there, but it was just all rushed in really. But this one I'm pleased to say has a bit more meat on it. If I'm honest, I still don't fully understand what the Grisha universe is. However, the plot summary of this, which I'm sure a lot of you have already read this book anyway, you don't need to know about what the plot summary is, but it sounds better than what the last one was, which reminded me a little bit of like a damsel in distress princessy book, which I just genuinely didn't like. This one talks about criminal prodigies and deadly heists, which sounds a little bit more up my street, but I am yet to rate a Leigh Bardugo book more than 2 stars. So, like I said, the potential is there for me to just not like this book. However, I'm hoping that this book is different, like what a lot of people say. A lot of people say that they actually start the Grisha universe with this book and they enjoy this one a lot more. I think this is also more highly rated on Goodreads as well, so I am looking forward to getting around to reading this eventually. I'm just nervous because I am one of these rare people that just didn't like Shadow and Bone because I just felt like it just didn't give me enough. I don't know who okayed like black pages, but I guess the printer was like, no! I feel like I got more than £4 worth of ink in this book. Never mind. The next one is the Starlight C by Erin Morgenstern. I have read The Night Circus. I think this is her second book, The Night Circus being her debut novel, and I read The Night Circus when it came out. And I really didn't like The Night Circus. I didn't like what it was trying to achieve. I didn't like the atmospheric sort of vibe. And you know, I am someone who grew up on Tumblr, so I can excuse a little bit of moody-esque, not a lot of plot, not a lot of romance, but a lot of mood. But I just didn't like it. I didn't like the mystical. However, a little bit like Crescent City, when I saw the cover art for this, I just thought I have to have that cover art because it has to sit on my shelves really nicely. And if you've seen my last video, you'll know that that worked out really well because yes, I wanted Crescent City because of the cover art and it was from an author I thought I didn't like. I ended up thinking that was the best book that I'd ever read. So you never know. Erin Morgenstern, you might surprise me. This might be the best book I've ever read. But because there wasn't anything about the Night Circus in the way it was written or the plot or the ambiance, I'm worried about this one. I'm very worried. I've heard that it's a little bit like The Night Circus. I've not actually seen a review from anyone who didn't like The Night Circus reading this, again, which makes me a little bit nervous. But I'm determined to give it a go, and I'm gonna, you know, draw a line under The Night Circus and just go into this one with no expectation. I'm willing to do that for a nice cover. The next one is 5 Dark Fates by Kendra Blake. This is the 4th and final book in the 3 Dark Crown series. If you're not new to this channel, you might know that the Three Dark Crown series is one of my favourite series of all time. And I have had this book since this book came out, but I'm putting it off, and there's a reason why. The first book, amazing. The second book, amazing. The third book, there was a little bit of a plot change, and I was a little bit like, I wasn't quite sure if I was ready for the new elements of lore. And I don't know, people who's read the book will understand where I'm going with this. They introduced a new dimension to legacies and laws and why things were happening, and I was just a little bit like, I don't like where this is going. This is a series about three sisters who are all princesses. Their mother is the queen and dies in childbirth, which is usual for this world, and the three sisters, as per every generation before them, have to live apart, and then when they're 16, fight to the death until one of them becomes queen and the other two have been killed. Usually one of the sisters has magical ability that is much stronger than her sisters, and it's quite evident throughout who is going to be the new queen. But in this one, all three sisters have different magical abilities, but they're all equally as strong as one another. So nobody knows who's actually going to come out victorious. But at the back of their minds, or at least in the back of some of their minds, they are sisters and they don't want to hurt their sister. It's such an adventure, this series, and I love it because it's fun. I've recommended it to a lot of people, but I am nervous that I'm not going to get the conclusion that I want to a series that I really enjoy. It's quite rare for me to enjoy a series as much as this one, and I'm just not confident that I'm going to get the wrap up or the execution that I'm satisfied with. I'm sure anyone who is a reader that has anxiety or generalized anxiety in their normal life gets really anxious about the final book in a series, because you just don't know what's going to happen, and what if it's poo? And I know you don't know until you've read it. I know that. But if I've never read it, it's not going to happen. It's like when I watched Bates Motel on Netflix. Okay, let me tell you a story. So me and fiance were watching Bates Motel, and we watched all of the series right up until the third last episode, where everything in that episode is really great. Everything is good. There's going to be spoilers, so skip ahead by a minute if you don't want to know spoilers for Bates Motel. So his mum and the police officer get together and they're getting married, and it's beautiful and it's what we've been waiting for. And then his friend that has the breathing apparatus, she's with his brother, and it's all happy and nice and sweet, and Norman Bates is in a mental institution where he belongs, and everything is great. There's nothing more you could ask for. And that's the episode I decided to stop on, because that's the ending that I wanted. I knew if I kept watching this, things would go to shit and I would not get the ending that I wanted. So yeah, that to me is the ending of Bates Motel. I can't believe Bates Motel had such a happy ending. If you don't watch it or if you don't read it, it never happened. So that is my dilemma with this one. I'm just concerned about the ending. The next one is actually just one book, but I can't get the book out of this box, so I'm having to hold up the entire box. I give up. This is a series that I am also very worried about. It doesn't necessarily have to be the first book, but I did actually want to just get the first book out of hold because this is heavy. I've actually started reading The Final Empire, which is book 1 in the Mistborn series, generally seen as the start of the entire Cosmere series by Brandon Sanderson. And I've read a fifth of it a couple of years ago, and I put it down and I couldn't pick it back up because I didn't like it. I couldn't get into it. I didn't know if at the time it was just me in my headspace or if it was that I just didn't like it. But I feel like now that I'm older and a bit more mature and ready to sit down and read more like information dumps so that I can read the entire book, if that makes sense. You know, a couple of years ago I just wanted to read quick thrills. Now I'm more willing to put the effort in. I do want to start rereading this again this year, and that is because I want to read The Way of Kings, which is a separate Brandon Sanderson series but part of the same universe, and it's generally recommended that if you're going to read them you would start with this one and then go with the other ones. And I really want to go with the other ones. I really want to read them. So I do have plans to restart the series, but I'm just really nervous in case I have the same reading experience that I had a couple of years ago where I genuinely, it was painful to read. I didn't like it and I couldn't understand what was going on. I'm quite good as a reader of imagining, like taking what's on the page and what I'm reading and turning it into like a movie in my head. I'm quite good at that, but with this I couldn't do it. I don't know if it was just because I didn't enjoy it and I didn't want to put the effort into it, but I was having a hard time imagining what exactly was going on, and I was very confused. I understood the general concept about magic being related to metals, but apart from that, I was just like, who is this? Who is this? What's going on? What's happening? And I didn't care for any of the characters. And this is the book series that got me into thinking about this video, because this is the one I am absolutely terrified of reading because I've already tried and I didn't like it. But I am very keen to give this another go. It just might not go the way that I hope it goes. And I don't want to be that one person on Booktube that doesn't like Brandon Sanderson novels. I just don't know. I want to like it so bad. I'm nervous. Really nervous about reading it. So that is all from me today. If you've read any of these books and you think, you know, you shouldn't be nervous, you should read them and you're going to enjoy them, let me know in the comments, or let me know if you've read them and not liked them and you're like, nope, you're totally correct and feeling how you're feeling. And thank you for watching to the end of the video if you've made it here. I will speak to you in my next video. I hope everyone is safe and well. See you in the next one. Bye guys.